Here.
And full circle.
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, we are live now. How do I get our logo to go away?
Probably if you go to the overlay and select no overlay,
True, true indeed, true indeed,
hopefully it
true
won't
indeed.
default to something. But I think if you do no overlay, it's going to default to the brand that you are. Yeah, I don't like that. Now it's showing
What-
the live StreamYard.
Oh yeah, what about this one?
Now you can't see either one of us.
Yeah, what's going on with this thing, man?
It's
You know,
punishing us for not going on regularly. It's all.
exactly. It's like, come on, bro.
It's okay. Now it's us again
Okay.
with no images. I mean, leave the
Oh,
old
I know what to
banner.
do. I know what to do. How about that?
Now we're back
With
as
nothing,
we
right?
originally started. No, with our journeys from Lagos to
All
Brooklyn
right, here we
banner.
go. Here we go. There we
There
go.
you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. It's been a long time.
With no branding at all. We're like two bobbleheads.
That's it. They know what it is. Hello, Donatella. Hello, world.
I know. Hello, people. Do you remember us?
They better. They better.
Well,
It's
I
been a
think
while.
they remember you. The question is, do they remember me?
Nah, they remember you. They're like my annoying co-host.
And what's so funny?
That
I
all
can't,
that always eats while we're doing the show.
and I just dropped my Tupperware meal.
Perfect timing. Perfect timing.
I know. That's okay. I have a soda, so that's fine.
So I'm in the car because we just have a party right now. I guess they just got married, so we
Oh,
don't want to
nice.
interfere. Wow, who is this celebrity driving this very, very fancy car?
There are always celebrities at your place.
No, it's a young guy. Looks like this guy got to be a rapper or something. He's
What kind
driving
of
one
car
of
is
those BMWs that are like very it's the BMW sports car where the arms come up.
Oh, the i8.
Yes, the i8, and he got a brown hoodie. I can't see his face well. He got a hoodie on. He has a little cute
There,
girlfriend with
there are
him.
quite a few of those, though. Quite a few of those in Brooklyn and Long Island.
Yeah, he's clearly not a white collar worker. Clearly,
Well,
and it has temporary tags.
oh, so it's brand new. Good for him.
Yeah,
It's not green, is it?
no, it's black.
Oh, okay. I have a friend who just bought one, and is he in sanitation? What does he do?
Nah,
Yeah.
this kid got he probably ain't worked a day in his life.
You're assuming. I'm gonna say
I'm
that
dead ass. Like he looks he's
maybe he's a
you know a
forest
lot of
student.
artists are short, so like he's that artist height.
Shame on you. He could be a forex trader. I'm so
Nah,
sick of people.
nah, he would be at Wall Street right now. It's 4:52.
No.
He should be worried about the stock market dropping 500 points today. He wouldn't be out at Amarachi eating.
Oh, you know what though? I have an African friend. Is that an i8? But I think he has the new Aston Martin, and he is short, and he likes to look like he doesn't work, but he owns a staffing agency. I'm telling you, people are very clever, right?
Yeah,
They let you think what you want to think, in terms of how they get their money. And unfortunately, I feel like social media has glamorized the bad boy life so much until people just don't care how people get their money anymore. Look at all the people who got all the pandemic money. And, you know, oh, I think my co host is frozen.
no, I'm not frozen. I'm just listening to you.
Oh, your video is frozen though.
My video's frozen.
Yes, I don't see your lips moving as you're speaking right now.
Don't worry, that's because I was in another app, but I'm back. How about now?
There you are.
I'm multitasking. We're actually what I love about this app, this application is that we can run this live right from my telephone. Like
Mm,
I'm not on a computer. Um, running it live from my phone, and at the same time, I'm still conducting business, still giving
yeah, but
price quotes.
they need to allow the true multitasking so that people can't see you.
Yes. Well, I mean, so that I won't freeze.
Right. That's what I'm
That's the
saying.
whole thing. Yeah,
Mm,
because that's not cool. But
yeah.
so a lot has happened since we've been on.
Yeah.
Um,
A whole year. Just about.
yes, yes, a whole year. I actually finally made it to Nigeria.
I
Um,
know
and
without.
I think, the biggest takeaway I would say from my trip is that um, it's a lot different from what I remember it. Uh,
And in which part? Traveling there, arriving, traveling.
Everything, the entire experience. So starting, let me walk you through we took a direct flight from JFK on
Do you want
Delta.
to say what airline you flew on?
Yeah, Delta.
Oh,
I
what
will
was that
say
like?
the food sucked. Usually, when I've been on this flight before,
Mm,
the food I remember the food being better, right?
okay.
The food going was very terrible.
Mm.
I think they gave us like turkey sandwich. It was bad. No, they gave us like this rice
Was it a night
with
flight
the
or a day
curried
flight?
beef. Huh?
Was it a night flight or a day flight?
It was a night flight. It was a night flight. So
Overnight.
when you get on the plane,
Because
about 30 minutes into the flight, they don't waste time. They feed you quick
they
because
want
they
you to
want
go
to
to
put you to
sleep.
sleep. Yeah, they want to put you right to sleep. And so boom, the food came out, drinks came out, but the food was terrible. I wish I had some butter on. They would have
Really?
really, sliced things up, as we say in DC. Yeah, I didn't have no butter, so I just grudgingly ate the food.
Oh no. A drab turkey sandwich.
And then
And so you
yeah,
did
and then when we woke up, huh?
you did Delta all the way to Nigeria.
Straight is direct flight. Boom.
Oh, so I changed planes when I went.
Nah, I don't like doing all of that at all. I don't like doing all that.
Yeah.
Especially first time with the family and they're already like,
Mhm.
"Oh, we're going to be in this plane forever. We're going to be, you know." so so it's like the
Were they
last thing I want
were
is
they
a
giving us walk
17-hour trip.
around?
Yeah, with our
Mhm,
luggage just getting tossed away and stuff go missing. So I just
mhm,
said,
mhm.
"Listen, I paid the nugget. We're taking a
Yep,
direct flight."
right.
So that was cool. So their experience, it wasn't as bad as they thought, especially from my wife's perspective. She thought it's like
Right.
the 10 hours was like forever. Like just like I told him, I said, you're gonna
You
eat,
watch a
sleep,
couple of movies.
watch a couple movies, next thing you know, you're there. And sure enough,
Yep.
um, that's what happened. By the time we woke up, started messing around, we're already on Africa. And what I like is the plane flies on over Africa all
Mhm,
the way till it gets almost to Lagos. Then it goes back out to sea a little bit and then comes
mhm.
back into Lagos.
So you
But
got were you low enough to see actual things while you were over
no,
Africa? Or you were still
no, no,
20,000
no.
feet?
You're 30,000 feet in the air until they
Yeah,
tell you it's time to descend.
yeah.
But you
Okay.
just kind of know you're overland in case some shit happens. You're overland.
Right, right.
Emergency landing. Then you're gonna land on the highway or something, or the Sahara Desert. You know you're on land.
That's
Not
good.
like that huge six
Body of
hour
water.
experience when you're over the Atlantic Ocean. Exactly.
Yeah.
So we got there, and the first traumatic experience for them
Was the
was
airport.
was the airport.
I was
so
horrified. I was
so
horrified.
luckily my sister my sister is very, very
Thorough.
thorough and adamant. She doesn't let go. If she says this is how it's gonna go, that's how it's
Mhm,
gonna go. And
mhm.
me, I don't like that too much. Like when
Right.
concerning me, like you can do that in your world, but when I'm the subject, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying?
You were
Hold on
rebel.
1 second. Mac, is he good? that's my guy. Okay.
And it's always good to
I
be
gotta make sure my
bubbly.
customers are good.
I know.
That's one of my guys from the corrections department.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because I know your kids, was it their first time going or their
Yes,
first time?
everybody. My
That's what
wife
I
and
thought.
kids. It was their first time.
That's what I thought. So when they got off the plane, right? Because I know how I felt, and you're seeing people. At least you guys had a family. I didn't know where to go, and nobody was trying to talk to me. And when I started speaking my American,
Oh Lord.
English, they were
Dollar
just looking
signs.
yeah. And then I felt like, uh-oh. Now I felt like a piece of meat because they were all looking at me different. We're gonna
Yes,
get you.
you will stick out like a sore thumb. So luckily, like I said, my sister had she's very connected everywhere she goes. So she actually had someone pick us up from the mouth of the airline from the airplane.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
didn't have to make it to immigration by yourself.
No, no, no. The guy
Wait,
picked us up from the airplane,
you had a
walked
real
us
good
to
job.
immigration. He
Mm-hmm.
took all our paperwork, went to the desk.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, they treated us like distinguished guests.
Yeah,
Um,
that's how I got it at the
so,
point.
boom, 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 stamp, stamp, stamp. And because of that, we avoided a lot of, because when all that's happening, that's
Mm-hmm.
really when they're asking you for money. So
Yes.
like when they when they like stamp me and stuff, they were like, "Yo, so okay, what'd you bring for us? What's good with
Yep.
us?
Yep.
So
And
I just to sit back, dude had on my. I had to say nothing. I didn't have to say anything to anyone, and he was just taking care of it.
did you get to go to the front of the line? You stood in the line for a second, and then when they were ready for you, he took you up to the front.
Well, we because we came in as Americans, we were on the short line anyway.
Okay.
So.
Yep. Okay.
But I actually let a couple of people ahead of us because it was five of us, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm trying not to rush. I don't, we don't need,
Right.
So me and one guy almost got into it because he jumped me, and I could have made a stinker about it, but I didn't because that's just how people are. Like
Yeah.
the same thing when the plane, like when we're about to land, once the plane lands, everybody's jumping up, grabbing it. I'm like, yo, sit down. Let the plane
Yeah.
stop. Like,
The girl's
where
not
y'all
even.
going? It's like
Yeah.
everybody's in a rush to nowhere. Like, you just want to get up and, so it's that same kind of energy. That just you're just ready to get out and ready to do what? Like, at the end of the day, right? So
Right.
I felt back. Yo, go ahead. You skip me. I just want you to know you skip me, but go ahead, do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then I let another Indian lady ahead. Go ahead. It's a lot of us. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But I
so
think they
I
were
feel,
trying to rush out to get to their luggage because the luggage area, to me, if I wasn't with the person that I was with, it was
yeah.
like a free for all. People were just picking up luggage.
Well, that is true. You do, but you see, that's why they have another checkpoint because at the second checkpoint, they check to make sure your tags
Yeah, that's when they
match
asked me for
your
money again.
exactly. That's another opportunity. So
Yeah, the first
luckily,
one.
we didn't have to go through that because our guy went and got one of the luggage people for us,
Mm-hmm.
loaded all our luggage, had everything. We had like 10 suitcases.
Yep,
Uh,
I
put
bet.
it on the thing, and they just kind of waved us, so we didn't have to do nothing. So
And
that's
so,
why I
what
said that.
about when that African heat slapped you in the face when you came out the door?
Well, luckily, we arrived in the rainy season, so there
Oh,
wasn't a day that it was over 85 degrees. So let's say when we actually got out, it was like 78 degrees.
oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was very yeah. Look at this couple.
Totally new.
This couple's like 50 something. They just got married. So cute. The dude's all like happy and stuff.
Mm,
Anyway.
right.
That's
So,
nice.
okay.
And
So
so yeah, so we get outside and
Mhm.
now the car, so now in Nigeria, they don't let any cars come to the airport. So they have a car park. You gotta go walk to the car park. And that's like a 5 block walk.
Oh, it wasn't like that when I went.
Yes, it's really sucks. It really
So
sucks.
you flew into
So
Lagos, right?
yeah, we went, it flies into Lagos. So
Like,
to go get your car, you gotta walk 5 blocks, and it's 5 blocks of everybody and their mother trying to help you carry
Oh
your bag and get
yeah,
money.
that was. And you see people trying to sell you exchange of money, and
Yes, yes, all,
it
yep,
felt
all
like
that's
it
going
felt
on.
like it felt like Jamaica to me when you get out
Yes,
in Kingston with all the people. It was
all
like
that's going on. So my
a
sister's like,
people.
just stay focused, stay in line, just focus, like, don't talk to anyone, just go, just go,
Yep,
just go. Don't,
yep,
even my sister's like a soldier. Go, go, go. Just stay, keep your nose,
yeah. Don't
so
talk to anybody.
yeah,
Don't
don't talk to
open the
anybody.
bag.
Don't lag behind. So I had to make sure I was in the back of the line, make sure the kid, just go. So finally we get to the car park, load up, and we get out of there. And
The
my
long ass
sister,
ride.
oh my God, my sister made sure she wanted us to, it was also JoJo's birthday. So
Mhm.
she had planned for us to stop at KFC because one of my dad's tradition was to always stop at KFC when it was our birthdays.
Oh really?
So yeah, so she wanted us to. She was adamant about us going to KFC. Plus, we were freaking hungry.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
And
but the
KFC over there
problem,
tastes different than KFC in America.
oh, of course.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just
but
letting you know.
unfortunately, it took like a 2 hour process in Lagos traffic to freaking get to KFC. Like to the point where I was ready to like, damn the KFC. Let's just go somewhere and go sleep. I'm tired. I want to, I mean, the traffic was really, really horrible. I mean, we're going like 5 miles and it took us 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I remember, and I was terrified. I didn't know where I was going, and the
Exactly.
driver was speaking to me in his language, and it
Oh,
started to get darker. I was
yes. So
horrified.
now so it's like darker now. So I'm like, sis, you sure you wanna? Because where she's staying is not in Lagos. She's staying like 3 hours outside of Lagos. So I'm like,
Mhm.
why don't we just stay in Lagos? It's already late. Because I've literally never driven at night. I've never gone anywhere at night in Nigeria. Because
Yeah, and with
we
all
don't
your
have street
bags.
lights like that. It's dark. It's dark as hell.
Yeah, that's the point
So
I'm trying to say to them. It's black.
it's black. It's black dark. And she's like, no, no, we gotta go where we're going. We go. I'm like, okay, all right. So here we go. Boom. A 3 hour journey in the evening already.
Mhm.
And it's crazy. Like I'm like, all out the gate. This is already the wildest trip I've ever had. Like it,
Jojo was turning upside down in the
look,
car.
they listen, they were 10-hour flight. They were exhausted. They were tired. They just wanted to get to where we were going. And they didn't know where we were going. So it was just like, okay. But we got there safely. We had excellent drivers. Um,
Mhm.
got to the hotel, got a nice room, yada 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 yada. Uh,
That's good.
went to bed. A lot of bugs. There were a lot of bugs in that hotel, unfortunately.
Really,
Um,
I didn't recall bugs. I don't
was
recall
it that
having.
hotel? I can't even remember. But whatever. We slept. Got up. Yeah, 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 yeah. There was bugs. Yes, there were bugs. And I was so freaking tired. I didn't give a shit. I just got right into bed. Bug or no bug, bite me. Do whatever you want. I'm tired. So we got up when I had breakfast. That's the thing in Nigeria. When you sleep at a hotel, they love offering you continental breakfast.
Yeah, but
So
the continental
came
breakfast over
downstairs,
there
but
is
it was only for like
expensive.
2 people out of 5.
Oh
Right.
wow.
So it's like, hello, like, what's up? It's like, well, 2 people. That's it. So we had to pay for the other people. But the breakfast was cool. Um, went around town, went to see some people, and I was like, okay, I gotta get home. I want to go home. Like I cannot
Right.
come to Nigeria and just be in
Be traveling around with all your stuff.
with all my stuff in and it's not home. Like I want to go home. I just want to go home. Nothing against anybody or anyone or anything. I didn't come here for this. I want to go
Yeah.
home.
Okay.
So we left, went home, got home, and it was very, 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 very nice
Yeah.
to finally be home. 10 years, that's a long time.
It is.
And it was nice to see all the work that was done
Mm-hmm.
to restore and upgrade the
Mm-hmm.
compound, the property, and the house. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like, wow, a lot has gone on here. Pay respects to E, mom. I felt like I had arrived finally.
And I'm
Uh,
sure after the pandemic, I'm sure you just didn't jump out the car and
yeah, and luckily for whatever reason, Shagun, who was my general manager out there,
Mhm,
he had already bought a goat for us.
mhm.
So when the kids first thing they saw was the goat, it was like, "Oh, we got a goat! Look at the goat!" So you
Don't
know,
look at me too much.
they were off and running with the goat. Named the goat Billy, playing with the goat. But goats are not domesticated
Right.
animals. Like their goats are stubborn. They do what they want to do.
Mhm.
They're doing. They're hard,
Wait,
but
so
they had fun with the
he
goat.
got you so he got you the goat and they made it a pet. So you didn't
Yes,
eat it.
I didn't get to that part yet.
Oh, I was like,
So we had to go. They love, they were kicking it with the goat, but the goat at night wouldn't stop crying. Like when, because
he knew he was he
you
knew
tie
it
the
was
goat up
coming.
against the tree. Exactly. And, the goats stay outside. They don't stay in the house. They stay outside of
Mhm,
the house, but you tie them to a
mhm.
tree or you let them go. If you let them go, you're at risk for them eating up all your vegetables. If you have vegetables or plants in your compounds, that's what they eat.
Right.
So, um, they make a mess. They poop everywhere. They pee everywhere. So we
Right.
usually kind of like tie it to the tree at the night. So whenever we do tie it to the tree, oh my God, it goes crying. And like so luckily the next
Non-stop.
day we go to the market nonstop, like all night long. I'm like, I can't wait till this thing is no pepper soup. So the next day we go to the market. And you know, Shagun realizes my kids love animals. So he goes and finds this
Mhm.
cat and brings it to the
Oh,
cart. And
I
immediately
saw
the kids love, the cat was like 2 days old, like
Mhm,
baby cat,
mhm,
And they loved the cat. I mean, they felt the look head over heels. Cat was
mhm.
so adorable.
I saw it.
So
I was like, is that an African cat?
no, I don't. From day one, I'm like, this ain't no cat. This is a lynx. This is some savage beast we got. This is
Yeah,
not
let's
a.
let's
This don't look. The thing bites, man. The thing like real cats don't bite. This thing bites. Like this thing acts like it's hunting us.
yes.
It's hunting us in the house. Like
That's
it
hilarious.
goes after your feet. It goes after your head. Like, but it's
Mhm,
so adorable, right?
mhm.
Um, but so we got the cat, and like they all adopted it. That became the highlight of their entire trip.
Oh,
It was like
that's
we just
good.
had a new baby. So
Yeah, I
we had to
saw
go
Joji playing with it.
exactly. We had to go to the vet. Had to go to the pet shop, and
Mhm.
Billy the goat became an afterthought. So I was like, thank God we could finally get this thing in
Yep.
some soup. So
Yep.
shortly
Yep.
thereafter, we had an event that following week where we invited my old classmates and stuff, and then Billy was made into some nice jerk barbecue.
Ooh,
So
nice.
so I didn't want to tell them. It was like everybody's eating good, and my wife's like, Is that Billy?" Uh, um,
And
uh,
everybody stop and look at their plate.
everybody's like, "Yum yum yum." So, they're
Yeah.
like, damn, like, damn, that was our pet. Like, how y'all just gonna kill Billy like that? Like, this ain't right. So
Yep.
that was funny. But for the most part, like I said, everything was really cool. And that trip really became about this pet, this kitten, this cat, this wild animal, this lynx, this tiger that we have, and
Yep.
everything revolved around that. And that was a great distraction because, we're in the
Mhm,
village, so there's not a whole lot to do. But even though there was
mhm,
a lot to do, But for
Right.
them, it kept
There
them
wasn't a
entertained.
whole lot to do in terms of the technology that they're used to utilizing
Yeah,
it.
going around doing certain things, it just it's different. So, it's just different. The hours, everything moves different, right? And the one thing I will say is Nigerian food is amazing. Like the food was slamming. Everywhere we went, the food was outstanding. However, the pepper is just too much for me. For a guy that loves pepper, it was too
Mhm.
much for me. It was Donatella, I mean, you wouldn't. I mean, it was out of control. Like
No, I
it
didn't
was,
have a lot of pepper when I was
yo,
there. I think our peppers are processed. They're not as strong
no,
as
it's no, no.
the
Look,
ones
my
grown
stomach,
type of
like my
thing.
stomach was on fire. I could feel the heat in my belly
Oh no.
to the point where I said, you know what? We're gonna take a break and just eat bread one day, like no food. Like we can't even eat. Like we needed a break. It was so hot, so hot. It
Hmm.
was like I can't take it anymore. It was like, you know. So we literally had to tell them, please do not cook with pepper. Like don't even cook a little bit. No more pepper. Just zero pepper. Like we need a break. No pepper at all. Just seasoning,
That's
no pepper. So because I mean, they could. My kids, my wife, they couldn't eat anymore. They were like, they're like, they tapped out. They're like, we're not eating. We're
yeah.
gonna starve to death. We're just gonna
I
eat
I
eggs.
can't I can't eat pepper when I'm really hungry. It's too much. It takes away my appetite.
I literally had to go buy like heartburn medicine and drink it
Oh
down just to cool my stomach. Like it was like, yo, it was. I was like, no
yeah.
wonder every time we have like people fresh off, the trip, they come to the restaurant, they always complain
Mhm.
like the pepper is not enough. So I'm like, now
Yeah.
I get it, because
Mhm.
what they're used to is straight fire, is hell. We're they come out breathing like, hot fire. This is different. So,
Mhm.
you know, so I've adjusted certain some of the African dishes when I came back. That was a cool thing too, because I really
You
kind of,
added more pepper now?
oh yeah, I adjusted some recipes. I adjusted some things to give you more of that authentic, flavor and taste and all of that. Um,
Oh,
which is a really good thing. Yeah.
I
So
got
that was one of the no the good things about the trip. And just generally, I would say that that country is a beautiful place, but it has a lot of things that frustrate you. And primarily, I blame the government or lack thereof. It
Mhm.
seems like the people in power there uh, feel that they're chosen not to lead, but they're
Mhm.
just chosen to be wealthy and flash their wealth and flaunt their wealth and just enjoy
Mhm.
their life without any regard for the other 3 million people, 300 million people that live in the country. So
Yeah.
it's like y'all can
Sympathize with that.
starve, y'all can figure it out. As y'all can beg us, keep begging us, and then we release little pockets of money and little stuff, little crumbs for y'all peons, and
Just enough to keep
that's no
you
way to
alive,
see
but not enough to make you strong enough to really fight back.
exactly as I said, like those the leaders of that country do not love the country, and they do not love the people in that country. For them to allow the country operate like that,
Oh, you're
because they
breaking up.
have the money, they have the
Yeah.
resources. They just choose, yeah, they choose to hoard it and spend it where they want, you know. And it's
Mhm.
like like a road, they'll allocate money to fix a road, and whoever's in charge of that money will just take that money and spend it on their personal home and do that shit every year and not fix the road because they know they're going to get allocations. So they use like the decaying structures as a means to you know build their own wealth, which is just crazy
Mhm.
to me. So you
Take
have these
accountability for the government too.
fantastic, like beautiful, majestic. I thought I was building something, man. I ain't built nothing. If you see the
Mhm.
stuff that's over there, it's
Yeah, I saw
outrageous.
a lot of
But
these
you can't
things.
get to it because the roads are disgusting. They're nasty, you know. Um,
Hmm.
like your car will break down 5 times going down the block with all the potholes and the water. And it's just like,
Yep.
how could they live like this?
Yep.
And that's
That's
part of what causes the traffic problem, because one, you can't move fast because the roads are
and
so
there are no
bad.
lines on the road.
and then and then cars break down left and right, so you have to navigate through the cars. And then next thing is the accidents. So just by fixing the roads, that's, you got three major issues that causes the traffic nightmare.
Yeah, but
you know
they don't do like um I was in an Uber and someone hit the Uber and I was like, "Oh, aren't you going to get out to your for the insurance?" He's like, "Insurance?
and so
Get
they
out.
don't have that
You don't
insurance
get
stuff.
out.
What does
You
that
get out,
mean?
you might get shot."
Exactly. There's no such thing. You figure it out right then and there.
Yeah, he
Right
said,
then
"Just
and
keep
there.
going. Just keep going."
And like you said, some say, some people just keep it moving, don't want to even deal with it. And
Mhm.
safety wise, we were very fortunate. We were very, I won't say lucky, but it's not what it seems like. It's, yes, sure, it's dangerous. These things that happen, you hear about them, they're real, but it's
Mhm.
not like
Mhm.
it's right. It's not, you know what I mean? It's not in your face like that. There's certain areas that are hot spots.
As it is
Um,
in America.
yeah, it's not the way the news makes it seem here. But there are hot spots for that stuff. And obviously, um, if you're traveling, you fly. Like if you're going from Lagos to Abuja, back in the day, you would drive, right?
Mhm.
It's a long drive, but you could drive it. Now you can't drive it because on that
It's
road, that's where you find some bandits and stuff. So people just kind of fly to these spots. When you get there, then you
mhm.
go where you're going. Um,
Right.
but definitely, tourism can happen. It's not to say that the country can't do more to secure it. There are checkpoints, there are police presence, and they're not like,
Mhm.
they're way less aggressive than they used to be, as far as when they come to your car and demand money and all that. It's not
Mhm.
like that anymore. Most times they're just looking to make sure it's not a crime scene, or the people in the car don't look suspicious, and they
Or
just kind
they're
of,
accounted for as well. Because I know there are a lot of abandoned cars. Ones that have been in an accident. Some of the people
yeah.
just left them there.
Mhm. So, yeah, you get that too. You get that too. But it was really cool. I'm really excited that we got the opportunity to go. And also, got to leave the guys here to see what they could do while I wasn't here. And they
Mhm,
did the best
mhm.
they could. I didn't get any
Yep,
too many bad
they didn't
reports.
burn down the place,
Nah, they didn't burn down the place. They held it. They
which
held it.
is
They held it together.
awesome.
They held it together. They held it together. So that was in a wrap. The best part of the trip, of course, was towards the end. I treated them to a little mini vacation by the beach and by Lagos Island, Ikoyi,
Oh,
Lekki, all
nice.
that area. So they got to,
Mhm.
and I was surprised at the quality of the beach. Very nice beach, beautiful clear
Mhm.
water you could see through, nice sand, and they had like an amusement park on the beach with rides and stuff for the kids, and they had a
Oh, nice.
restaurant. It was very, very nice, very fantastic. And even the
Oh,
hotel we stayed in was top class, very good. So that was the dopest part of everything. Like, it was like, okay, wow, okay, now the vacation starts. Like,
you see
okay,
how both sides are.
yes. So of course, the family likes the latter side.
Me too, family.
Yeah, yeah. They're like, next time let's do this first, and then we can go to the village and come right
No,
back.
because if you do that first, you're gonna be like, let's not go there.
Yeah, exactly. Because they were like, yeah, we come right back. And we go to the village, say hi, and come right back. So
Yeah.
no, but it was definitely, and like I said, I mean, that place is very, very nice. It's just they need to connect all of that. They need to make it work. And
Yeah.
it doesn't take a lot. It just takes someone that cares. That's it. All we ask is for them to care. If you care, you will do something about it. If you don't care, it's like
Yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever. Not my problem. And you do what you're doing. But and that's why we're hoping that we get a guy like Peter B. And my statement is pretty much, I'm offended when Yoruba people say that as a Yoruba person they cannot vote for a Peter B because you're no better than that white supremacist, that KKK person that
Hmm.
hates black people because of whatever.
Hmm.
When you can't, you say you share a country, you're Nigerian, which means that you're one of many ethnic groups that make up a country, a people.
Right.
You guys have an identity. And to say that you will not vote for someone based on the fact that they don't share the same culture as you would clearly
Right.
vote for an inadequate candidate, a candidate
Hmm.
that shouldn't even be running simply because of their ethnicity. You look very
Hmm.
foolish, and stupid.
Agreed.
Um, and they need to stop that because it just shows how barbaric that kind of thinking is. So that needs to go, and let the best person qualified to lead that country lead it to a better future. The country is it's not about fixing your part of the country and letting the other parts right. It's about looking at the country as a whole and doing what's best for the entire place so that it could work better for the people that live there, and attract people from the outside to come in. What they're doing, this
Yeah.
foolishness, is just gonna be same old, and everyone's tired of the same old, same old. So I don't even know why anyone would even play that game. Like it's not even funny, you know. But
Yeah.
people are still, you know, they're still doing this thing. But we're gonna overcome that, and I just hope that Mr. Obi and his people take take security, seriously, because we've seen Abiola die. We've seen him be killed after he won the
Hmm.
election. So the
Right.
powers that be, we gotta watch out for them and make sure nothing like that happens. Change must happen, no matter what happens. Change must happen because um, we need it. And Nigeria is like the Mecca, should be the Mecca for all Black people across the diaspora. Like it is home for all of us. It is our ancestral home. So many of our bloodlines comes from that coast. They used to call us the slave coast for a reason. So many of
Right.
us came from that coast. You know,
Hmm.
and which is going to lead to another conversation I want to have about, um, this movie about
Woman King.
the African warrior women that you saw.
Woman
Um,
King.
wh- what was it called? Warrior King,
No, Woman King.
Woman King. Yeah. So, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Without being a spoiler,
Spoiler, no
yeah,
spoiler. I ain't watch it, but I'm still
no,
gonna watch it.
I'm no spoilers. So first thing I
Okay.
will say, a lot of people show up to movie theaters late with the idea that they don't want to see the coming attractions. You want to see the coming attractions before this
Gotcha.
movie.
Okay. So
Um,
arrive early.
yeah, so arrive early, get your seat, go somewhere nice. I went to the Alamo Beer House or whatever it's called in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
First time ever there. Absolutely loved it. Super clean. The staff was really nice, and the design is nice. Have interesting things on the menu, so I nibbled a little bit, and of course, I was in costume because you know if we're going to support our movies and we want to see us in more movies like this,
Uh-huh.
or
Uh-huh.
you want to go out the first weekend that it comes out, really, because we are the king and queens of spoilers, telling what the movie's about. That's number one, and number two, that's the largest impact on the industry, right? In terms of what that movie does during the premiere weekend. So I got dressed in garb, supported a local African boutique, and
Okay.
for
As
us to
as we all should.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And I hear most people saying, "Oh no, I'm waiting for Wakanda to come out," and I'm like, okay, let's treat all
But
the movies.
we can't do it more than one time. Like we got to take it in doses. It just can't be like a regular thing for us to just support,
Yeah,
our craft, our business, our way of life. It's just you got to do it in doses.
yeah. And so, and you want to come early, stay to the very end. You know those how those movies have surprises after the credits
Yes.
start rolling. Stay to the very end as well, right? Um, but yeah, it was nice. And then to make it a complete kind of ladies' day out, we did a little exercise walking after we left the movie theater because we had something like churros popcorn. So it was
Hmm.
popcorn with churros in it. We had fried pickles, very
Mm.
good. French fried pickles, some madness, and mozzarella sticks. So that was really good, and a cocktail. And so of course we went to Amarachi afterwards, which which was nice. It was a beautiful, beautiful day last Saturday.
Fantastic day.
And we walked there and introduced my lovely friends, Jennifer and Cece, to Amarachi. They absolutely loved it. But what I liked even more, I introduced Jennifer to a henny colada, and
Huh?
Jennifer loved the henny colada so much we called her Hennifer for the rest of the day.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. She was pretty lit at the end of the day. Everything good? I'm
Yeah,
gonna come
she
in.
was nice. Food was good. If I had known, I could have sent you the images because our food, the presentation was great. That
Fantastic. Yeah, I think I took a
night.
picture of it. It was nice. You had the red snapper. It was huge.
Yeah, my favorite. I had missed that. The red snapper with the shrimp. I got an order of the Ifo Riro. Is that how you say it? It's been so long since
F
I've been
for
there.
F for Rero. F for
Efo.
Rero.
Efo Riro.
F for F for
Um,
F for. You
Efo.
gotta say F for
Efo.
F. There you go. F for
Efo. Efo.
F
Riro.
for Rero.
Riru. Oh, Riru.
Rero.
Efo.
Rero. Riro. Rero.
Riru. I keep thinking of Riri. The-
Can I have the F for Riri, please?
Riri.
Riri's F for not Rero, but Riri's
Yes,
though.
with a little cosmetic Fenty on the side. No, it was really good. I had a hit colada as well. I felt no more pain the rest of the day. Um, and we walked from there back all the way back up to like Flatbush. And we hopped along some other
So
bars
so
over
so I want to ask you. I want to ask you a little bit about the movie, right? As a black woman,
there.
um, how do you feel about? I haven't watched the movie, obviously, but the whole slavery thing in the movie, or just even in real life, right? How do
Well,
you? Are you okay? Let me say what I'm trying to say. There are a certain faction of Black Americans that are bitter towards Africans over slavery.
and vice versa, and vice versa.
Say the vice versa because I don't know what you mean. So they are
I mean,
Africans
there
that
are
are bitter
some.
over slavery. So
No,
say the
there are
vice.
some. No,
Uh-huh.
so I'm saying that the perspective that you're saying, there are some African Americans who are bitter toward Africans because of the slave trade back then. And then I
Uh-huh.
feel like there's also bitterness from a different perspective from some Africans with Black Americans in terms of whether or not Black Americans work hard enough with the opportunities that we're afforded, right? So I think that's two things that are out there. Um, Me as a Black American woman, I was born in Alabama. They call it an N word, but I moved up north very early on, like when I was in elementary school. And I've seen a lot in my 100 years on the planet. So what I liked about the movie, if you know the past, you can't get mad at the past because the past is the past, right?
Mhm.
And I think there were a lot of things that were key in this movie. I was super ecstatic that it was an African movie with dark skinned women for the most part.
Okay.
Everybody was dark skinned, the men, the women, except for when it was key to the storyline for them to be extremely light skinned, right?
Mm, mm.
So there was an appreciation for the naturalness. And again, a Black American watching, it looked pretty authentic, because the movie's about real life occurrences. So that was the other part. And there were some bits and pieces of the movie that I recognized from other movies that I've seen. But it was super empowering to me. I think it really is a family movie. So you can go as a husband, a wife, you can take your children of appropriate age so they understand what they're looking at. And then, one of my favorite parts, it addressed the lack of, I would say, respect or importance that women had during African times when they were sold to their husbands, right? And a lot of that goes on in different cultures as well. Um, the fight scenes, everything. I love the movie. I would actually go back and see it again with another group of women because I have some other friends who want to go, and because I got there a little late and I missed part of the opening. And what I
So,
saw was happening, I was like, oh my gosh, I need to come back and see the beginning.
I'm glad I got to meet the three of you, right? So you're like in the middle. You can exist in any world. You can go to Nigeria and rock out. You're here, you rock out, right? So being that
Mhm.
you had a Nigerian friend and a Black American friend that went to the movies,
Mhm.
what were their reactions to the movie?
I think because we had dialogue after the movie, and I think we were all pretty much on the same line. We had a great appreciation for the storyline and how believable the characters were, from the youngest woman in the movie to, I guess, the oldest, to Viola, right? And
Hmm.
it was nice to see her in a different type of role to me. I think she always plays a lead powerful role, even when she was like in uh Murder, whatever that show was. She always has a presence. But here in different times in different parts of the movie, there were some non-black people in attendance with their black friends, and there were some parts in the movie when I'm a talker, right? So I talked through the movie. I was sitting next to two guys who were talking from a different perspective, and there was representation of the LGBTQ in the movie as well, which it wasn't it wasn't highlighted like, hey, this is here. But I like the fact that it seemed like they didn't really say this one character was, but everything about him to me said he was. And I think that's something that's intentional by a lot of movies that's coming out, because there is a remake, this is off topic a little bit, of The Wiz that's coming out, and they're going to be new characters in The Wiz to represent the LGBTQ community. And that was just announced by the producer. It's a black producer, right? So we like the movie. And as
I'm always
I
stay
can't
away
speak,
from the LGBT.
no, that's
I'm
fine.
always stay away from the
And I
only
get it.
because I say this, right? And I'll say this. Why I say that is because um, I just don't like people. See, whenever we talk about this, it makes me think of that person sexually, and I don't like that. Whenever I think of when people identify with themselves as that, is like, why do I need to know what goes on in your bedroom? Like it just,
Right.
it just takes me to, and
the
like
topic sexualizes it
if
to
I
you
made
because
the parallel, exactly, if I made the parallel and made certain statements and say these things as a straight person, I would just sound weird and
but you
weird.
would sound weird. You would sound weird in yesterday's culture. Unfortunately or fortunately, you sound accurate in today's culture because um these things they're not going away. For example, there's another
and and and
Disney.
and they won't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they
no, no.
won't.
There's a
But
Disney cartoon. There's a Disney cartoon that just came out, and well, the cartoon is out, but I'm trying to remember which cartoon it is. But they had their first same-sex cartoon characters to address, and I have to figure out what cartoon it is. A very popular cartoon character, but it wasn't said until the cartoon came out, and so there are a bunch of parents going like,
like
you
what?
know,
And that's the whole thing. Like we're introducing a sexual conversation into things that we should not be sexualizing, especially at a young age, especially when we're talking about children. That's my problem. Everyone knows me. I'm in a public place. I have gay friends. I have gay people that I enjoy their company. I enjoy, that's their life. I don't, persecute. No, no, nobody's interested in any of that. It's just that, you know, I don't know why. Maybe it's because society has made them feel a certain way that they have to go extra hard. But I just feel like we don't need to introduce sex into every conversation. And I think when we it's all about the sex. It's like
but
this is who I choose to have sex with.
no, but is okay. So that's I'm going to me that's a very like heterosexual view of it. Like even from my standpoint, right?
Mhm.
Um, but I think they're trying to have the conversation where it's not sexualized, but it's normalized. Because even when I went to the bathroom, I I'm very open with who I communicate with. I have quite a bit of followers, so I interact with a lot of type of people who identify different ways. But when I went to the movies that day, I came out of my stall, and the person who was coming into my stall was, you know, a person who identifies with that group. And it caught me off guard because even though it's everything is everywhere, depending on the lifestyle you live, you may or may not interact with different type of
Mhm.
people. And I would have to say that was my first time that I could
So
identify
you
and
had a man,
remember.
you had a guy that was a person that was born a man come into the bathroom.
That's how it appeared to me.
That
And the
see that
only other time I saw that was when I was in high school in like the 11th grade, and we went to Canada on a trip with my family. And I was in the bathroom, and there was, to me, noticeably a man dressed as a woman. And I guess I was so taken back from it. I was washing my hands but staring at the person because they're in front of the other sink. And the person had on a dress. And you know what he did? He pulled up his dress so that I could see his male underwear
come on,
and see
yo.
it was a man. And I was, even in
Like,
the
oh,
11th grade, I was
that so
mortified and went running into the restaurant screaming for my mom. And,
and
and
it's
when
like, when they have these programs, these celebration festivals, and you have these guys pumping their junk in front of like 5-year olds, right? In like in the G string. In
Yeah.
in a heterosexual
Well,
setting, that dude gets beat down. Like that's not acceptable. You don't do that.
okay, so that part is not supposed to, no. So well, so
Like, what
so
are we doing? So that's my and I'm saying this, and like I said, I ain't
but
got
the other
nothing
side is,
against. No, I just don't like certain things, and we gotta have limits on everything. We can't just blanketly say every behavior is okay because I choose to be this way. No, it is
well,
not.
it's also, but look, it's also the responsibility of the parent not to have the 5-year old, just use an example, right? In a position where there are adults and adult entertainment. So I was also, I was somewhere recently, it was late at night. We were in a bar restaurant. It's almost 1 in the morning, and a woman came into the restaurant that also had a bar with like these kids this big. And I thought that was insane. It's 1 in the morning. Why do you have a toddler, two toddlers out
She should be
while you're
walked right
drinking?
back out the. She should be walked right out the restaurant or the bar. I
Yeah,
mean,
but if
but there are rules for that. You know, you're
no,
not
there
permitted. I
isn't.
mean, like
No. You can't sit at the bar. You can be in the
exactly.
restaurant. You
But
can't
I'm
sit
just
at
saying,
the bar.
even there are rules at the bar at least that there's alcohol is being consumed there. Children
Yeah,
cannot come here. There are rules. There's still
yeah.
rules. You see what I'm saying?
But
There's still rules. We
yeah,
still have to police, you know. But like I said, this is not what we came to talk about. But it's just something that has to be said. Like nobody has to be just because we don't like certain things don't mean we're against you. We're anti this. We're anti. That's got nothing to do with that because there's so
mhm,
many wonderful people in that lifestyle that we just cool with and life
mhm.
goes on. It doesn't affect my life, it doesn't affect their, like everybody's good. It's just certain things when it comes to the children, like I don't like I would be uncomfortable with like now they're teaching kids about sexuality in like freaking kindergarten. I don't
Yeah,
want my kids
I saw
to
that.
having these conversations at 5. Why? What are we doing? Why? Like what
Well,
are we
because
doing? Like the
I,
society just is just everything is just staring out of control. Out
yeah,
of
I
control.
think it's
Everything
an
is just out of
effort.
control.
I think it's, but I asked myself, why would you do that at such a young age, like kindergartners? And I had a conversation with someone, and they said, what happens when that kindergartner is talking to another kindergartner who has two moms or two dads? So they were like, maybe that's why it's better to introduce it at a younger age. And I said, yeah, so it can normalize it. So I mean, I get it. It's I'm having a hard time being an adult and keeping up with all the things,
Listen,
the
I have three
pronouns.
children and I have never once sat my kids down and said that we're gonna talk about sex today. Look, they're gonna just like I figured it out, they're gonna
Yeah,
figure it
but
out.
they
If they
learn
have a
like
question,
in the sixth grade.
that's
That's when
what
they
that's what I
started
said.
talking.
Like if they have a question, I'll be more than happy to discuss it when they bring it to me. I don't believe I need to, and I don't need to do all of that. I just,
Yeah, you have to. Well, maybe because you also have
everybody
another
has
half.
their own style.
Yeah,
Everybody has
maybe
their
your
own
other
style.
half. Maybe your other half has had that conversation.
Maybe she's had it with the girls. I don't know. But I just think like
You're gonna
I'm
mess
old school with
around
it.
and
No, I'm old school with
cute
it. Like
little
my
JoJo.
mom, my dad never sat me down, and the only time they sat me down was when they caught me with condoms in my pocket. That's when my mom, beat my ass. And were asking me what the hell am I doing with this stuff, at 12 or
Yeah, but
13. You know
today
what I mean?
though, today's 12 and 13-year-old is 18 years old. So you've got a very handsome little
Exactly. Like
boy.
hero, my son knows everything about it. Trust me, I know. And we never had the conversation, but I know he knows because I know him. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
if he ever want to talk about, like, as he gets older, he gets more comfortable saying certain things around me, and that's the way it should be. You shouldn't be just out the gate, your dad, da da da. No, whoa, slow down, boy.
But no, it
You
shouldn't
know,
be.
I'm not
It
jumping.
should be out the door dad, but dad should sit him down. And I feel like a lot of dads don't sit their kids down, which is why a lot of kids end up dating their babysitter before they date anybody else.
What does that have to do with dating the babies? What does that have to do with dating the babies?
So
Because that would have
that is my nice way of
you have
saying
to. Yes,
I
bring
have
it back.
I've had conversations with lots of guys who said their
Hmm.
first encounter of doing things with a female was their babysitter.
That is
Lots
true.
of lots of guys.
That- yeah.
That's not natural. But guys will say, "Oh, my son, the babysitter." Ha ha ha. But let it be the girl daughter who's learning about men from her babysitter.
That
There are men
yes,
babysitters.
that no, that you are 1,000 points correct. There is a double standard because yes,
Terrible.
if the house help or your handyman was was with your daughter, you would kill him. Period. Right. But if it was
Yeah, but
the
the
if
babysitter
your daughter
who
your son is 8 and the 13-year-old daughter of the housekeeper, you know, is you're like, hey, son, what are you doing there? You're not gonna hear, you know what I mean? Like the conversation is totally different. You know what I mean?
which
You
is
allow him
bad
to be able to
because
lie his way out of it.
but which is bad is because that babysitter and that older girl is molesting the child, right?
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that's where it starts off. But let's jump to something that I bet you haven't seen yet. Since we're talking about physicality.
Okay.
So a couple of weeks ago, maybe not even a month, there was I think a Latin woman who's very shapely, very pretty, and a kindergarten teacher. And she went viral because the parents were taking video clips of her in the class and saying that she looked way too sexy to be a teacher. She wore really tight clothing. And
Yeah,
so of
that's
course,
unacceptable.
right. So the guys are all like, "Oh, she's fine. That wasn't my teacher." Right. And mothers are upset. And so, okay, they demanded that this woman be fired. This is in America, right? Which
Yeah.
they said it's inappropriate clothing. I don't think it's enough to be fired for her to be
Yeah,
fired. Just
I think the principal should have told, or the guidance counselor, go in that teacher's office. The vice principal say, listen, you have to change your attire. Like it's
well,
inappropriate.
right, right. So apparently the staff didn't complain. The woman went viral, and then the whole internet complained. Okay, so they wanted her fired. So now, right now, going viral in Canada is a male teacher who's in the process of
I saw that. Oh
transitioning
my God.
to a woman. And to me, I think it's super comical because I'm like, okay, you want to transition to a woman? Fine. But he transitioned to
Hold
a
on one
woman.
second. Hold on. I got to get out the car and say hello real quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on.
Well, we can't leave the
No,
people that
just 2 seconds. Just 2 seconds. I just got to say what's up. Hold on. 2 seconds. Two
yeah,
seconds.
I hear you. So guys, Bub has no respect for those of you who are watching.
Yes, I do.
So
Yes, I love everybody. What are you talking about? It's my man.
I know he
I ain't
loves
seen him in
everybody,
forever.
but you
I'm
can't
on
just
the show.
leave the place with 2 seconds of dead time.
All right.
So one of the cool things, he's sitting outside of his restaurant and he wants to acknowledge because everybody loves Bub. So they
Look,
have to come and say,
the man came all the way from South Carolina to see me.
no,
I
I
got to
get it.
get up.
I'm
I
just
got to
saying
get
we
up out my
can't leave
seat.
power,
That's
but
the
we
kind of
can't
love you
leave
see.
dead space.
When things are bad, you get that kind of love. You just feel really super duper dope, like all the way from South
I get it.
Carolina. You know what I'm saying? So the least I can do is just get hello.
I
I'll be
know,
in
but
this. I'm staying late here today.
so
I'm hanging out.
let me go
Huh?
back to my story. So for those of you who are watching, because
Yes.
I'm paying attention that we're talking to other people, just not to each other. So this man transitioning to a woman bought really huge prosthetic breasts that sit out
Humongous.
like
With
this,
big nipples.
this,
With big
this,
nipples.
this high. And what made it even more strange or interesting to me is not just that he's a teacher, but he's a wood shop teacher. And so historically, in those types of classes when I was growing up, that's where you had the most masculine boys in those in those classes. And so what was interesting is that the school immediately came to her defense, right? And said
Yes.
that they've never had any problems or any complaints, that the only complaints they received is because students in the class started taking videos and it went viral. And so, I mean, but it's like, and when I say it, I don't mean the person, I'm talking about the situation. It's so amazing to me because the prosthetics, I feel like they can't be part of his body. They're so big. They have to be something that he puts on.
Yeah.
And he's got long blonde hair. So
I say though, it's really crazy looking, and that's why I said, man, like it's out of control. Everything is out of control because you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You know, I mean,
yeah.
He's a teacher, right? He's in front of these kids. Was that the best thing to do? To go and buy prosthetics that it's not just like okay, I'm just gonna get, I'm gonna do that. No, I'm gonna go get the largest things you've ever fucking seen, and I know these kids are gonna go ape shit crazy when I come to class with them. So it's like you're feeding into the drama, like you're manufacturing drama.
Yeah, and or
you know what it is. Like you can't say you're not smart enough to know how that's gonna end. Like that's the issue. Like we don't give a fuck how you take it. We gonna do what the fuck we want to do, and the world just doesn't operate like that. Look at Ime Udoka, right? He went and had sex with a staff member. Nia Long there, Celtics are there. There are rules, right? He didn't commit a crime, right? But there are rules. So what happens? He's fired. He's suspended.
He's not fired. He was suspended for a whole season.
They said there's no guarantee he's coming back. They said that. They cannot promise that he will be back. Because guess what will happen, right? If the new coach goes out and wins the championship, you think they're gonna fire the coach? Hell no. That new coach, that's his job. But if they go and win only 20 games this year, then definitely they're gonna bring him back.
Well, so and here's the team, interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, go ahead. I think right now, because of Nia Long's reputation, who she is, no BBL, American Girl, no excessive weeds, just beautiful, never any drama. Everybody loves Nia Long. Men, women, the people who identify as whatever they identify, everybody loves Nia Long, right? I'm waiting until they reveal who he cheated with. And depending on what that person looks like, it's going to be a whole nother hellstorm.
No, but that already started. They first released this picture of like a biracial black woman, right? And then that lady came out and was like, "Nah, it wasn't me, dog." So the only person that it leaves is a straight white woman.
Oh, it's only 2 staff members.
Okay. Apparently. So like they first tried to go with the black girl. The black girl, nah, bro. That wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Oh,
so man. By default, they, like you said, they haven't named her, but it's already hit by default. By default, it is who it is, Exactly. Yeah. So, but everybody know that it was a white woman. The other lady on the staff.
He's a good-looking brother too.
Hey man, them Nigerian guys, man, they got some looks on them. Yeah. But once again, it gives Nigerian men a bad reputation because it's like, man, a lot of them like you can't be finer than Nia Long, and the Nigerian brother still cheats on you.
Terrible. So let's see. I just blew off all my people. It's like 6 o'clock. But one more thing. So the
Yes.
largest reported to date fraud from the pandemic, $240 million by an organization in Massachusetts, where they appointed a lead person, I believe it's a woman, to oversee this funding to make sure that there was no fraud. And she is the person who allegedly committed all the fraud. So it's the feed the
That's
children.
funny as hell.
And so she came in as the overseer, whistleblower, whatever you want to call it, and she manufactured
Oh my goodness.
222 organizations. And what makes it worse, very organized. It was a pay to play kind of thing. So you paid in order to be one of these approved entities that they funneled the grant money out to, right? And so what made it even worse, let's say it was organization A who actually fed 100 kids and they just lied and said they fed 5,000. They were creating organizations, putting them in locations, like one was on the second floor of an apartment building. It's supposed to be fed 5,000 children a day out of this one apartment. Not only was the organization made up, all the kids were make believe as well.
Wait a minute. So who was the whistleblower on the whistleblower?
So what happened was they initially at some point started investigating or asking questions. And when they initially reached out to her, she turned around and slapped them with a lawsuit and said, "How dare you? You're only coming after me because my clientele is East Africans. We cater to East Africans." So she used the black card.
Oh, Lord. Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
she used the black card. And so apparently it's very complicated. It goes all the way up. I don't know if she's the highest level, but so what I'm thinking is it's her, right? Because they brought her in, and then she went out and created and manufactured with all these other people. 200, there are 48 people arrested so far. 48 people. And you know that President Biden,
crazy.
And here's the other part. President Biden passed the law extending the initial 2 to 3 year investigation for pandemic relief to now 10 years. So for the next now 8 years, they're going to be going through seeing who got what funds.
Kind of reminds me of the what happened with the housing when they allowed all of us to buy houses, and then they let us buy houses like 3 years, and then they crashed the market and destroyed everybody's credit. Like this is kind of like the banana. Yeah, like, okay, we're just gonna give this free money away. But really and truly, it was Trump. You see, whenever the Republicans are in office, they give out the money. They don't care, right? Because it's like they always got to find a way to cheat to get votes, and they feel like also there's a little bit of racism behind it because they feel that most business owners are their people, right? They look at us as people that work and get paid, right? They don't look at us as business owners. So if you look in whenever there's a Republican administration, just watch how owners of businesses have benefited on free money, all kinds of free money, because most of it, that's kind of like the buddy club, So they dish out this cash. But, for COVID, they allowed people to create, there was a very, very small margin of, that people had to pass in order to get money. And when the Democrats come in.
I disagree. It wasn't a small margin. There was a small amount of supervision. They tried to get people there wasn't a lot of proof checking, just like with there wasn't a lot of proof checking. As long as you met the criteria from A to Z, you immediately got it, because they were so busy focused on trying to get the trying to get out the relief, that there wasn't anybody there doing the necessary.
No, he's trying to show you he's opening the door for you. Yeah,
you guys, give us just a moment. Yeah, there's no, there was no Q&A for the checks and balances. That's
none whatsoever. And as soon as, and I'm telling you, I experienced all of it. As soon as we changed over to the Biden administration, I'm telling you, the first PPP came out like this. Second PPP, boom, like money was coming out crazy fast, unsupervised, whatever. Once the administrations changed, everything changed. You processed it. Everything became stricter. Everything took longer.
The beginning things that came out were things that were already in the works coming through from the orange-haired guy. Speaking of which, you see the charges he just got, Letitia James out.
But how much money he benefited? During all of that stuff, I guarantee you, him and all his cronies got their money. And listen, and I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna give you a little prediction, right? If they turn back and win, watch all this investigations go to shit. They're gonna torpedo them.
Of course, they're not gonna investigate themselves. But that's why he was trying to get rid of. That's why he was trying to get rid of our governor and our attorney general. That was the initial plan. But I don't know if you're paying attention. Our governor is about to be back running for something soon. He most definitely is.
It looks like a health. It looks like a health inspector on a Friday night. Please tell me that's not what's happening.
Well, go take care of him because I need to go get some food.
No, it's not him. It's not him. It's not him.
No, but we've been on here an hour and a half, and I'm hungry anyway. It's 6 o'clock.
It was good. It was good building with you. It was good talking, venting.
Great.
Absolutely. We got to do it again soon. And go get some money. Go get your money, girl. I know you're busy with all that paperwork.
Oh yeah,
doing everybody's paperwork and PPPs. And I'm gonna go check this lady, make sure she's not an inspector.
6 days for these New York State businesses to get this grant money. The rest of that $800 million that's out there, and then it disappears.
There you go. So if you got a business, call Miss Donatella. She'll help you get that money in 6 days. You heard it first. 6 days. All right, y'all. Later.
This has been great. I'll see you guys again soon.
Boom.